The only thing I would say is, if you're thinking about going to any of the fairs or whatever you're doing outdoors, Sunday'd be better. They're both hot days, don't get me wrong. The excessive heat warning is staying with us through Wednesday. But Sunday technically is going to be cooler than tomorrow. So let's start right there. These are tomorrow's daytime highs. We're still very much in the grips of this heat wave for the first half of the weekend. These temperatures are as high as anything we've done so far. But the good news is these temperatures are also the highest we're going to do. By Sunday, it gets better. But before I get to that, come over to Concord, Livermore. Look at you guys. Once again, you're going right back up to 106. So those are the places that really need to take this the most seriously. But Fremont 91 is equally as hot. From a relative standpoint, the numbers may not be as big. You're about 15 degrees cooler, but you're still getting impacted. If not to the degree those inland valleys are, it's still a pretty intense heat wave. Let me show you how this changes. We're going to go to the forecast imagery and just a quick little explanation on what's going on here with this heat wave. Because you'd never see it. You look at a satellite imagery, you go, what? There's nothing you could pick out here that would help you understand the magnitude of the heat wave. So we've got to look at this slightly differently. When we look at the water vapor, you see a clear pattern. Watch what, just the last 24 hours. Look what the clouds are doing. Look at that exaggerated arcing ridge right there. That's one way of spotting a pretty impressive center of high pressure that's right off the coast. But there's another way. If we use the climate records going back to 1979 to now and rank this center of high pressure that is parked off the west coast, there's a key up there. We're looking at a statistical measurement here in percentiles. I'll spare you the statistics. Just know where you get into that deep red bullseye. For this part of July, this is the strongest center of high pressure for that location at this time of year that's ever occurred in this record. So it's pretty intense center of high pressure. That's one other way to visualize it. Here's some good news. We'll come in for a closer look and kind of get our orientation on this. If that's where it is today, and we'll put the label on it, here's today. Where's it going to be in just 48 hours? So let's advance this now to Sunday, and you're going to see it's going to migrate and weaken a little bit. So this is one visualization to come away, at least, with the good news that Sunday's going to be better. You'll see it in the 7-day forecast in 1 second. But even if Sunday is better, Sunday's still not good enough. You'll see it. By the time we get to Sunday, we're all still going to be 10 to 12 degrees above average for this time of year. That's why the excessive heat warning is staying in place until Wednesday night. And of course, it's also a heat advisory for locations right along the Bay Shore. That's also, this is why we were doing our comparison between Fremont and Concord and Livermore a moment ago. You still have a heat advisory, even if you're in the Bay and you're kind of getting the help from the marine layer, and there is help from the marine layer coming in right now. It's still not enough to break the intensity of this. And the red flag warning is going to stay in effect as well. We got to get through tomorrow night at 9 before that will be allowed to expire. Let's put some numbers on this in the 7-day forecast. We'll say goodbye to the virtual map, and we're going to start out inland. We've already kind of seen that peak for tomorrow with temperatures for Concord and Livermore up around 106. Now look at Sunday. So if there was one part of the Bay where you really are going to notice a significant improvement from the first half of the weekend to the second half, it's here. But that's relative. If we were doing a forecast for 95 degrees in the inland East Bay valleys 4 weeks ago, that would be a big deal. And we'd be talking about that as the intense heat that you still needed to be on guard for. So on the one sense, maybe you've acclimated a bit, but you're still not getting back down to average for a long period of time here, which is why that excessive heat warning is in place. It's about the duration, not necessarily the particular intensity of any given day. It's about the fact you're still 10 degrees above average, even as we get towards the middle of next week. And here in the Bay, there's your pattern. It does get a little bit cooler on Sunday as well.